Okay, so this video is for a viewer whose handle is IQ Ball or IQ BAL, whatever. Okay, this is for you, and this is on achieving the MABA state. Okay, the specific meditations to get into that mind awake, body asleep state. This took me a long time to figure out. I went on a 5-year journey back in 2013, I think, to be able to lucid dream, and I tried everything. I've got all of Bruce, what's his name? Bruce Robert Bruce? Shoot. 1 second. Is it Robert Bruce? Robert Bruce. I was right. Wasn't I right? I'm pretty sure I said Robert Bruce. Robert Bruce. Whatever. Okay, I bought both his Astral Dynamics book and the Astral Projection in 30 Days or whatever. So, yeah, here it is. Mastering Astral Projection. I also have his energy workbook. At any rate, I worked with all of his meditations. I've done a bunch of different methods, right? I tried the what's his face's binaural beat system. Just, I don't know. I spent a lot of time trying to get into that state. So, what I have learned is that it's a lot easier than you think it is, but it still takes time. Okay, all of this stuff, everything having to do with your mind and meditation and honing your abilities to focus your mind and relieve focus of your mind and all of these mental abilities that you can work and that you can grow, okay, and learn. Okay, this is going to be a quick and dirty description of how to get there, but this is probably the best way to get there. Now, keep in mind, I'm very skeptical of the existence of a spiritual reality. It would be cool, it would be interesting, but I'm not totally sold on it. I've left my body many times. I've had several experiences where entities have come, appeared before me. Let's see, there was an angel, there was like a tech demon. I got into evocation for a little while. So I've had some pretty crazy experiences, but when it comes down to it, they're all subjective experiences. So it's very difficult to, just accept something as a reality when it very well could have just been a hallucination or a mind-induced kind of apparition because you wanted it to happen. So when I'm talking about these exercises, for instance, energy work, right? Energy exercises, I'm not necessarily talking about spiritual energy from my perspective. Just so you understand. When I think of energy work, when I think of energy balls and feeling energy pressure from your hand and scanning your body with energy screens and stuff, I believe there's a physiological analog to what's happening, and I think you're getting neural feedback from a variety of different psychological and physiological systems, but my point is that energy work, strengthening the ability to just I can feel the cloud of energy as I'm pushing it down through my arm, right? I don't know if there's really a cloud of energy there. What I do know is that it's very strong. I can feel it. It's very palpable, and that comes from having done a lot of energy work. Okay, I've strengthened the nervous tissue and the connection with my mind, so that I can feel each individual, all my fingers. I can feel all the little individual points on all of my skin. I can pulse energy at any given location, just and it turns into a sensation where it actually feels like something's flaring out of the side of my arm, right? But this comes from practicing it. Okay, you have to practice it, and for whatever reason, whatever the reason is, okay, having a strong neural feedback capacity, being able to just pulse your whole hand and feel it just flare up with tight, cool energy, for lack of a better word, being able to manipulate your nervous system to feel things that you can't see, has a strong impact on being able to perform certain meditative exercises, specifically as the one that IQ ball, LQ ball. I apologize if I'm just totally slaughtering your handle, but specifically being able to get into what you were referring to as the void state. This isn't the void state. There are a couple of different schools of thought on what void is, and but what you're talking about the MABA state, mind awake, body asleep. And if you allow the state, once you're in that state, if you allow it to just be, and you don't try to project, or you don't try to start up a dream and enter a dream, then it can be the first several times you get to the state, it's intense, akin to free falling. Okay, it's just this just intense feeling, and for the first many times you do it, it's going to bring you out of the MABA state. So just know that that's going to happen. Okay, first of all, you're going to once you get used to the sensation, once you get used to that, just like dislocating, the quote unquote separation from your body, and that just kind of like free falling sensation, it can be intense. And especially when you first start these practices, it's gonna be really intense the first time you experience it. Just be ready for that, okay? It's gonna throw you off, and it's gonna pull you out of the state until you get used to it. So it can take a while. Just let you know, it's gonna take a little while for you to just, okay, here it comes, I know it's coming, just, okay, free fall, oh yeah, there we go, yeah, let's keep going, okay. It's gonna take a second for you to be able to do that. No matter how prepared you think you are, it doesn't matter how many times you've gone bungee jumping or jumped out of an airplane, it's an intense state to reach. So intense, I've had several experiences where I reached that state and I was, just kind of floating in it for a bit, and something happened in my house. The doorbell rang, or a small sound like somewhere, like something fell or whatever, like a pin hitting the floor. They turn into these just like tremendous torrents of just sensation. A literal pin dropping and tinking on the floor will feel like an explosion of just vibratory sensations. So also be aware of that. This is also the state where your awareness of your own body becomes alien. Or your, how do I say this? Your awareness of the things that your own body is doing begins to perceive them as being alien things. So this is often when you hear people, feeling somebody hanging onto their back. Okay, you've heard stories of like people going into their trying to astral project or trying to go into a lucid dream, and they'll feel somebody just right behind them hugging, hanging on them, and they hear this crazy breathing. That's because it's their own body. It's their own body. It's the sounds that their own body is making. I've had experiences where, I was meditating and I had my hands laid on top of each other, and my ability to perceive my own hand as being mine went out the window, and it felt like somebody else's big sausage fingers is holding my hand, and it can be it can be disconcerting. So, shit gets weird. Breathing, right? When your body is asleep, if you're a snorer, you're going to snore. And if your mind is awake, you're going to hear it. And it can be terrifying sometimes. And often, because your mind doesn't know how to process it, it makes it feel like it's like somebody breathing right into your ear like a demon. And it's not what's happening. It's just you snoring, because sometimes you'll hit subtler states between the MABA state and being more awake, and you'll notice the transition. You'll notice that, oh, that's my own snoring, and as soon as I pass this threshold and I get a bit deeper, there it goes. Now it's an intense, loud snoring, but I know it's my snoring, and then I know there's really not a demon in my ear, right? Or somebody, holding me. That's my hand, right? So just be aware of that. Okay. Last quick kind of warning. I have been more in tune to this lately. So just know that often people in Western society, I don't know where you're from, but if you're in a Western civilization, people don't talk much about the negative side effects of meditation. Just be aware that there are negative side effects. They've been documented for thousands of years. Eastern societies are more attuned to this. They're more aware of it. They do more research on the negative side effects of meditation. But if you find that you are having, spontaneous hallucinations or spontaneous psychedelic experiences, or dissociative sort of sensations where everything just feels like out there and you're not connected to it, hallucinations, auditory hallucinations, visual hallucinations, bouts of depression. Actually, if you're going too hard on the meditations, if you're meditating for like 8 hours a day, you can have really intense psychological effects, and some of them can be actually quite damaging and harmful to you. So if you notice any intense mood swings or anything like that, right? Anything unusual happening psychologically, I suggest stopping meditation for a time long enough to speak with a specialist, a psychologist, somebody who can help you through it, and maybe cut down on your meditation a little bit, because there is such thing as too much meditation, and it can cause a variety of very damaging and problematic psychological issues. Okay, to the technique. This is what I found to be the easiest way to get into that state. Now, mind you, it took me years to do this, but once I figured this out, once I figured out how to kind of get everything set up correctly to get into the MABA state, it became much easier. So first things first, you don't want to do it when you're tired. You're just going to fall asleep. I don't care how much mental stamina you have. If you're tired, if you do it before bed or try to do it while you're falling to sleep in bed, if you don't have experience with controlling your mind, you're just going to fall asleep. That's just a fact. So I suggest early in the morning, like right after you get up, brush your teeth, get ready for the day, and you're awake, you've had your coffee, you're ready to go. Schedule a little span of time before you leave for work or whatever to do some meditation. All right. Don't lay all the way down. I recommend getting a reclined, like a reclined yard chair. I'll pop up a picture really quick of the one that I use. Okay, it's got an adjustable headrest. It's kind of cheapish lawn chair kind of thing, but it reclines not all the way. It keeps you in a somewhat upright state. Okay, and it's a very relaxing position to be in for this sort of meditation. Laying all the way down is problematic because you have been training your entire life that when you lay all the way down, it's bedtime. And so you want to find something that allows you to relax enough, but that doesn't trigger that it's time to go to sleep response in your brain. So a well-reclined lawn chair, okay, that you can just lay down on, lay back on. You want blindfolds. For sure you want blindfolds. If there's light coming in through your eyelids, it's going to be very difficult to get into the state. You want blindfolds. The darker, the better. These are actually the ones that I use. Found them on Amazon. Very cheap, very effective. Completely seal everything. No light gets in. Very thick and nice and comfortable. So you don't even realize that they're on, usually. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to do several body scans, okay, from head to foot, and you're just going to relax everything. It is essential that you have every muscle in your body totally relaxed. Like, from just, the little muscles on the side of your nose and under here in your cheek, the side of your temples, in your head, all of your muscles. You just want everything just totally relaxed. It can take several scans, okay, especially if you're new to this, it's okay. But basically what I mean by body scan is you're just going to pretend like you're getting scanned by an alien or whatever, right? Zzz, your body's getting scanned. And as you go down, as you inch down slowly, you're just going to check everything around, and if you feel any tightness, just release it. Go down a little bit further, feel any tightness, release it. Go down a little further, anything you feel that's tight, release it. Go all the way down through your whole body. You need it. You need everything absolutely relaxed. And you're going to have to do this a few times, especially as you're starting to learn how to do this. Once you get used to it, it's quite easy to just just relax everything. All right, but it takes practice, and the best way to get to that ability is to do your body scans. Once you're done body scanning, you're going to do a little bit of energy work. What I like to do is I like to pulse my fingers. So I'll pulse my left pinky, then my left ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb, then I'll pulse my whole hand, and then I'll move energy mentally, right? I'm just moving it up and down my arm, and then I'll do my right hand, fingers, and then my arm, move up and down my arm, and then I'll do circular, clockwise circular, mentally, right? Energy movements down through my waist, down around each leg, okay? All the way down, and then I'll do the same thing with my feet that I do with my hands. So pulse my left toe, pinky, and then my left toe, ring toe, middle toe, index toe, I don't know, and then my big toe. I'll do it with my right foot, and I'll do some energy back up and down the legs, right? I'll I'll just kind of work it a little bit. I have heard not to do energy work in your head. I don't know how, my knee. I don't honestly know how dangerous it is, but I believe there, just like the documentation, thousands of years of documentation of negative side effects of meditating too much, there is also thousands of years of documentation of intensely negative side effects from people that do brain qigong incorrectly, or push energy through their brain incorrectly. Okay, again, I don't know if it is energy. What I do know is that you can actually feel it, whatever it is, which means your nervous system is actually firing, and if you're pushing that shit through your brain and you're causing things to fire that shouldn't be firing, that could probably be an issue if you were doing it wrong. So, yeah, just, I wouldn't recommend it. You don't need to, right? So, okay, moving on. Okay, so you're laying there, you've done your body scans, you're fully relaxed, okay? You've done your energy work, okay? And now you're simply, don't focus on your breathing. I know people say focus on your breathing. Don't focus on your breathing. Make sure you're doing belly breaths, okay? You don't want shallow top breaths. You want belly breaths, nice full belly breaths, okay? But naturalize them, okay? Make it so that it's automatic, right? You want your automatic system, parts of your brain controlling your breath. But you want to get used to doing belly breaths so that it's just automatically doing belly breathing. Okay, nice, regular belly breathing. Okay, but don't focus on it. Just let it happen. Too many people focus on their breath, and then they aren't capable of focusing on what you need to focus on in order to achieve this state. All right, now MABA, mind awake, body asleep. We're trying to turn the body off, make the body think that it's time to go to sleep. When your body goes to sleep, there's a switch that goes off in your cerebral or cerebellum, right? It literally shuts off your body. This is what sleep paralysis is. People with sleep paralysis disorder, their body switch shuts off before their mind shuts off, so they're aware and awake while their body has become paralyzed. Typically it happens at the same time. Your brain shuts off or goes into dream mode, right? And your body shuts off at the same time, and then you don't notice the paralysis. You are actually paralyzed when you are asleep. Okay? Well, we are trying to cause that to happen. Okay, we want the body to shut off, because then our body is asleep and our mind is awake. That's the point. It typically takes, if you're experienced, at least 15 minutes, okay? You are going to need at least 15 minutes. Honestly, your first few times, it's probably going to take about an hour, because your body, you can't move, right? You can't move. You shouldn't move anything. If you have an itch, don't itch it. If you feel uncomfortable, deal with it, okay? You've got to not move your body for at least 15 minutes, and for beginners, up to about an hour. So as your body is holding still, it's beginning to register that, oh, maybe it's time to sleep, but your mind is still awake. You're in the inclined chair, right? You're not laying all the way down. So what you want to be focused on, okay, is you just want to focus on your whole body. Just feel your whole body. Be aware of your whole body. All right? And the more you're aware of it, as a whole piece, don't just focus on one area, like a finger, or like when you're doing energy work, you're just focusing on individual areas. Try to feel the entire body. Just feel the entire body, and induce by feeling it. Okay. I don't know how much sense that makes, but what I'm saying is, just like with energy work, just like as you can like pulse energy in different areas, you can also cause the sensation, I guess, kind of like like a floaty feeling. Okay, so you just want to feel the energy in your body pulsing, and you want to just feel it like just kind of just freely being there. And that's pretty much it. Well, okay, there's a couple of things here, depending on what you're trying to achieve. If you're just trying to achieve the mind awake, body asleep state, and you're not trying to jump into a dream, and you're not trying to quote unquote exit your body, as you're settling into it, when that sensation begins, you have to just simply focus on the free fall, right? Just focus, just let it happen. Don't let it rile you up. Don't let it wake you up. Just let it happen and just enjoy it. Enjoy the fall, or the intense floating, or whatever you want to call it. If you want to jump into a dream, simply picture something, right? It's pretty easy, actually. I like to just envision myself going through a hallway. Okay, I just picture kind of this hallway, and I'm just gliding through it, and within a matter of seconds it turns into a real hallway. It's pretty crazy how it works, how you can go from being fully awake directly into a lucid dream. It's an unusual sensation the first time you experience it. It's like, I don't know, sometimes it's hard to hold. Sometimes you'll get into the dream and then it's just like, too weird for you because you're fully aware, and then you just wake up anyway. But again, this all comes with practice. Okay, once you're in there, just have fun, have a good time, do whatever you want. Just simply the MABA state, where it's just nothingness. You're just experiencing the intense floating or the free fall sensation in a big black void. It feels good. I mean, if you want to hang around in that area, there's nothing wrong with that. It's good stuff. Like, it feels cool. It's fun. If you want to get into exit, right? If you want to have an out of body experience which may or may not be the same thing as a type of lucid dream, but if you do, all you have to do is just will yourself up and out. I think that's pretty much it, man. I'm trying to think. Yeah, anytime, I've had very few OBE experiences where I just lifted straight out of my body and I stayed in the room that I was in. Typically it goes something like, I'll get into the void state, and I'll be kind of like, I don't know, like curled up fetus style or whatever, just kind of rolling around in this void, and I'll be aware of the room that I'm in, but I've already disassociated with my body, so I'm just floating there. So my only move after that is just, willing the visual perception of the room that I'm in, and going from there. Let's see, let me think if there's anything else here. When you are in the MABA state, and only once you have entered the MABA state, you can do the rope, right? Or the ladder, where you imagine a ladder or a rope falling down through the ceiling, and you imagine yourself using the ladder to climb out of your body, or using the rope to climb out of your body. I don't suggest trying the rope or the ladder before you have dipped into the MABA state. I've had some really fucked up experiences doing this incorrectly. Once I was doing the rope, and I just straight from laying down straight into just imagining climbing the rope, and yeah, it's problematic. One thing, you haven't prepared your body to dip out of sleep, to go to sleep on its own. And so as I was climbing the rope, with my imaginary hands, not my real hands, I was actually just laying there, and then the rope begins to feel more real, and you'll start feeling your hands actually grabbing the rope, even though they're actually laying down. And as I was doing this, because I hadn't prepared myself correctly, I started to feel little like sausage fingers go like this, right? Just kind of boom, boom, touching my hands. Spooked me a little bit, but I'm like, whatever, just keep going. I'm trying to get out, right? But I didn't prep myself. I didn't get myself in that state. So shit just got crazy, right? All of a sudden these hands start crawling down my arms, right? And they're crawling down the rope, and they start just digging into my kind of my groin area, I guess, kind of where the Chinese dantian would be located, and like hundreds of them, and they just started squeezing my insides like really hard, and it was so intense that after it was over, I had like my balls hurt, my stomach hurt. I had to get a pack of ice and just sit down because it fucking hurt. Like, I don't know what happened, and that's one of those experiences where you're like, oh, maybe there really was like some demon hands trying to get at my energy center or whatever. But all I know is that it fucking hurt, dude. And not only did it hurt, it took a second to pull out of it so I could get up. Like, it was like I was pinned to the experience. I don't suggest doing this the wrong way. You want your whole body relaxed. You want everything ready to go. You want to go through the process and do it correctly. Don't just go straight for the rope like I did, because it's likely you're going to have a bad experience, or it's not going to work correctly, or your legs are going to exit, but everything else will be pinned down or whatever. There's a lot of variations that I have experienced. I've been pinned to my own belly multiple times, where I'm basically flailing out of my body, and I can't get out because I'm just totally pinned to the physical body. And it just makes for a frustrating experience, if not potentially dangerous, if not potentially spiritually dangerous, if any of that stuff actually exists. If I had a couple hundred demon hands squeezing my dantian, I'm sure that's not a great thing, right? Don't know if that's what really happened, but it fucking hurt like bad. I had to put ice on it for like an hour, dude. I couldn't walk. My balls were throbbing. My stomach was throbbing. It was not good times. So do things the right way. All right, I think that's about that. Given that I have done this video on the MABA state, because I'm pretty sure that that's what you're wanting, right? That's what you were explaining to me. I'm also going to do a couple of videos on the two void states, the Buddhist void, okay, and the true void, actual void. So give me a few weeks to get everything done for you guys, and I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you guys in the next video. Ciao.